chat. So we'll go like 3, 2, 1. Case study interview. So today I have a really highly vibrant recruitment entrepreneur, Robert, and I'm calling him all the way in Canada. Now, Robert's been in the Recruiter Accelerator program and working with me quite closely over the last 4, 5, 6 months now, I think.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, I'll let you introduce yourself, Robert, and your agency and what you do.
Hi, James. So our firm focuses entirely on construction recruitment in Ontario, British Columbia, the West Coast, and the center provinces of Canada. Some of our clients are now taking us into the United States, which is something that I'm really excited about as well. And so we've been doing this for quite some time right now. When I met James, we had a focus of core clients that we routinely went to. And then COVID hit, and that really turned things upside down on their head. So I reached out to James, and he really showed me the light on some new ways to do client acquisition, some interesting ways to do candidate acquisition as well. And man, it's been a game changer.
Awesome. It's cool. Well, we'll dive
How's
into
that?
Yeah, awesome. So talk me through then, Robert, like looking back over probably the start of last year when COVID did hit, like what was like not working for you at that time in the agency, and what was it like back then?
Right. So at the time, it was between my co-founder and I. A little bit about me, real quick. I'm an engineer by trade, and I got into recruitment to support my business partner who was looking to get into the engineering world. And we really dissected how they were doing recruitment, and we were able to install new proprietary systems and new ways of doing things that really leaned out the process. So we were able to drive value to a handful of great clients that were earning us, roughly $500,000 a year. For 2 people, that's fantastic, right? I wasn't really pushing for much. And then the entrepreneurial spirit came in, and we were really grinding. We were doing great in 2018 and 2017. COVID hit, and the world knows what happens when COVID hits. So some companies went under. Lots of roles got restricted. I even had ready like how many roles we actually lost, and this isn't roles that we just weren't getting. What really stung was we were actively working on these roles, and clients were just losing contracts and dropping contracts. It was like 80 roles we lost last year. It was supposed to be a high mark. We even had a staff for that. So I said, no more. We can't rely on, even though they're amazing clients, we can't rely on a strong handful of clients. We have to really spread our reach and bring in new clients in those particular niches. And that's when I reached out to James. And he had some really interesting insights on how to do that. And he brought some really great experience from, I imagine you've been doing this for many, many, many years. And then we applied all of it.
Awesome. So talk me through then. So in terms of your niche, like what is it that you really specialize in, Robert?
Construction management, construction professionals, site management. We even do, directorship, vice presidents, senior leadership. Anything to do with construction management, engineering, and architecture for heavy civil builds, infrastructure builds, low-rise ICI and high-rise. We even started up a mechanical engineering wing specifically for hydronics and HVAC, which some of our big clients really love because we were working with a new strategy with them, and that proprietary system I talked earlier, we just aimed that machine at exactly what they needed, and we were delivering results all across Canada. So our niche is like construction, but our key focus is to make sure that whoever we present in a role has the relevant projects list or the background for that job site,
Cool.
And that's why clients come to us, for that granularity on detail.
Yeah. And what would you say, like, how long have you been in business now?
Oh, well, NextGen, my company, NextGen Professional, we officially started in November 2018, but I've been working as a directorship with my business partner in her previous company. It's going to be going on 4 or 5 years right now. Yeah, my total recruitment background.
Yeah. And what would you say to everyone listening? Like, what were the key mistakes that you made along the way? Because everyone makes mistakes. I
think some of the key mistakes is, and I'll watch what I say here, but one to many. And really the I knew at the heart of hearts that, looking at how you can be scalable and managing your time and really getting to the next milestone. But I kept, always asking people, other entrepreneurs, I was seeking these circles about how they did it. And it wasn't until I talked to James about the mindset, really, about what attitudes you need to take on, the rewiring you need to do to really get yourself and put yourself in a position where you can scale and grow a company and not just be, it was a place and time for everything, but not be stuck in the weeds the whole time. And that is probably the biggest game changer. I would say it truly is. Like, once you start putting yourself properly in the seat of a business entrepreneur, everything starts to fall into shape. And James can go into detail about how those start plugging in. But yeah, I mean, everything from how we were doing our client acquisition system, that got rewired. Our candidate acquisition system is now on steroids. Like, that thing is nuts. It was good before, it's like crazy now. And really how we were reaching out to clients in all the traditional, and I use the word traditional as just exactly as you would use it, for word of mouth and, cold calling. That is a thing of the past now. It doesn't exist anymore.
Awesome. So in terms of like, when you were back then, Robert, like you mentioned 2018 and then 2020 came, pandemic hit, and that really affected things. Like, what was it like for you personally as well? Like, because that must have had an impact. When business isn't doing well, it normally impacts everything. Yeah.
It was a huge mental drain, right? Like, I don't know if you can hear the babies and everything running in the corner. She's a lot bigger now, and there's a boy on the way too. But imagine this: you're starting on a roll. You've just dedicated 2-3 weeks, and these are not small things by any means. These are not generalistic roles. These are like chief guys who are making 180, 200K $1,000 salaries. They're not exactly big ocean to pick from. And you get these people, and all of a sudden the role dies. It crushes your I guess your motivation and energy to keep going. And that was really hard. That was really hard during COVID, when we were doing all this work and it was just going nowhere. It felt like we're spinning our tires. So at one point I was just like, well, we're gonna have to try something new, because we have to adapt. And that's what it really was. All the cliches are there. I was literally pulling my hair out every time we got a client in, and then the role just fell off the map because the client lost the job. And that really sucked. And imagine doing that, and you have salaries to pay, right? You have guys that, people who work for you. And if you're any good at your job, these are actually strong bonds and relationships. You don't want to see them go during COVID. You want to hang on to them, because you know that they're going to help you when things turn around. Okay, well, let's get things turning around. So that pressure and that anxiety was there. And not to mention relying on chasing down clients that weren't really good to begin with, and, being desperate, I guess is the word, to make that relationship work. Yeah, that doesn't happen anymore. Now we throw the weight around. So
yeah, and like, that's the difference. Like, once you get your mindset right and you get an abundance of clients, once you've got the client acquisition system up and running, you can pick and choose the type of clients you really want to work with. And like, there's such a good feeling of like turning away business as well when you've actually got too much.
Yeah, with the client acquisition system, we were looking really close at who we do and do not want to talk to. And I'm not saying that we do not want to talk to specific individuals because they're bad. It's just we're so focused on our niche, and we know we can nail it every time. We're not getting involved with anyone else, unless I see potential in the next few years, when we're really at like some next level word of business. I just talked to somebody right now who was like, oh, how about this and how about that, and we are looking for this. Old me would have probably jumped at that on a heartbeat. Now, no, we have a clear focus, a clear niche, which is obviously construction, and we just crush it, and that's all we do.
Awesome. So where you were before, like, working together, Robert, like, how many clients did you have, like good clients, compared to where you are now with?
2017 to 2018, we were closing. We had, I can't remember the exact numbers, but loosely 90 to 100 roles at any given point. Whether that's a close or a success, I can't remember any now. But to give you an idea, so that was like, you know, I want to talk pre-COVID, because COVID was it was, you know, a hurricane, and we never saw that coming. So for now, I think we're about to hit, like, I don't want to step out. I think it's roughly 40 plus roles, strong roles, not easy, like, you know, easy. This is our niche, is what we do, right? But strong 40 plus strong roles just from our client acquisition and marketing campaigns from January of 2021. So
amazing. And
yeah.
what would you say the business model and structure looks like from what it was like back then, when you had a lot of different variables going on, and where it is now? Like, what is the difference between the business structure?
There's a lot more focus on what it is we need to do. I guess tying into your previous question, we were wearing a lot of different hats and just kind of touching everything in the business. You know, you got to do a little bit of that. You got to do some client marketing. Okay, now you got, and because no one was 100% driving or drilling into any one vertical, nothing really got done, especially during COVID when we were all panicking. Now, like, my business partner is the senior recruiter and account manager. She can really work well with clients to really make sure they understand, like, to get the two groups together. I jump on that when I have to turn the taps off because too many clients are coming through. I'm strictly on, more or less strictly on client acquisition and operations, so that, again, with our proprietary systems, we have the strongest candidates coming forward for our recruiters to do what they need to do. And also, like, our recruiters in the inside, they're seeing this wave of work coming in, and they're just buckling up. So I said, get ready, guys. Like, this is going to be an avalanche of work. So
Yeah, awesome. So in terms of, like, what would you say, since being in Recruiter Accelerator, what would you say the 2 to 3 biggest wins have been for you, Robert?
Really investing in the client acquisition systems that we discussed, and in the marketing systems and all that. The idea of one to many, and just no matter how much you feel like you have to revert to your old ways, because that's what worked back then, you just have to discard it, you have to shed it, and you have to move on and adapt. And there's not like a one size fits all solution, but it's really there. Like, your core competencies as an entrepreneur, you really have to put, and that's, I guess, the second thing, you really have to think beyond doing the data. Like, you have to start somewhere, right? Like, I'd start somewhere. We were nailing out, and we did really, really good where we started. We got to, $500,000, and that was really good as a recruiter. Now we want more. So now we have to, there's no way you can do that if you're just on the phone calls and doing candidate acquisition. You have to wear the new hat, and you have to make sure that hat stays on. You can't really flip-flop between hats. You have to be focused. Those are the 2 biggest ones I would think by far. Yeah.
Yeah, cool. And
I can't really think of a third. Sorry.
Yeah, it's fine. So
I'm sure it's there.
What was it a case of, if you remember when you first reached out, like, why did you choose to, one, seek help, and why did you choose to work with me in the program?
Well, I worked with you in the program because I do what I do, and I tendered out across a whole bunch of other solutions that I was looking for. And I quickly realized that what was out there in terms of who were providing, I wouldn't even say similar solutions, just solutions in general. Our company was doing better than they were. And I wanted something, I like the phrase, never take advice from someone who's never done what you want or where you're going, right? And it was very evident that not only have you had that experience, that you've also, you've gone through the growing pains. I think we talked about, identifying blind spots, and really you presenting some solutions to make sure that, what's coming around the corner, but also make sure that our team as well builds the capabilities to kind of project and sense and have an understanding of where they are in the business. And that really was attractive for us for help, really. It started off with clients, and man, once the clients started working, then it was candidates, and then we put all the proprietary systems together, and we're definitely on our way to I'm already have an expansion plan for the other provinces and the biggest metropolitans in the United States, and that was not even Yes, it was partially I planned it, but our clients are taking us there. We have roles in Chicago that are now happening in California and Florida. And I was like, all right, we're going with you now. And we have to retool the machines to help you out in those, those states. And I could have asked for more. I couldn't have asked for more. So
brilliant. So what would you say in terms of when you initially were going to join, like, did you have any reservations or what concerns did you initially have?
I mean, my biggest concern at the time was, am I going to get my return on investment? And after sitting down with a session with you and going through a number of options, it was very clear that the results were going to be quite dramatic and profound with going through your program. I'm also, I think that's the safest way to answer that question. Yeah.
Yeah, well, the question is going to be like, have you got a good return on investment from the money that you put in?
Yeah. Okay. So to put it like this to James's audience here, the month we started on, I'm not even exaggerating, the month we started on James's client acquisition systems that we discussed, and I was still tailoring and fine tuning it because everyone, you have to kind of get it into your own niche.
Yeah.
I think one of the first clients who came to us through this system is now a massive company of ours, a client that we work with. They are an amazing client. We did 40 grand. And it was like, I remember I showed you the whole thing, but it was like one weekend, got this client. By the time we landed it, late December, it was a very big, important role. It was $40,000+. So yeah, return on investment, right?
Good man. Awesome.
I count that for my 2021, by the way. So
yeah, and that's
it literally closed New Year's Eve. So
really, wow.
Yeah, it was
How
fun.
did that feel?
I really wanted to make sure that the client knew we knew that they were important. This particular person who went in as well was really hungry to do some work for them as well. And part of being a recruiter, you got to be hungry for making sure that you can connect the two. And COVID was also posing some interesting problems, so we knew that we had to do it sooner than later, and we really put an effort into it, and that paid off. I mean, that's client relationships 101. I mean, one thing I didn't really expect from the client acquisition system is that, we had like 1, 2, 3, 4, and then it was 9 roles, 16 roles. I'm like, what's going on here? The clients who were coming through and everyone was coming through, now they want 1, they want 2, they want 3. Hey, can you do this? We have this situation happening. I want 5 roles in. And, these are not small roles. These are not generalistic roles. I didn't see that coming. And that's why I had to turn the taps off. And now I'm really ready to turn them back on. We have like all-star recruiters we're talking to, guys who really know the systems, who, oh man, I'm super excited for 2021.
Awesome. And on the VA sourcing side, we teach you how to build a virtual assistant sourcing team that helps with the sourcing side. I know that's been one of your key areas now, Robert, that you've been working on. And how's that been experienced for you?
Administrative activities and administrative duties, you as a business entrepreneur have to step away from those, and you have to really value your time. If you're billing at $100 an hour, let's say easy dollars, right? You need to get somebody in to do those crucial. They're like absolutely essential. They are the grease and the gears of your company. You need to get that done. So absolutely, get an assistant, get a VA or whoever it is that you trust. I mean, James has a number of referrals that he can bring you through as well, because he's personally vetted them. The ones that I've gone through that we worked with James on, not only, it wasn't even like I was working with VAs that I had to train from scratch. And I was like, this is not like, the whole point is for me not to hold your hand, right? I need you to just keep going. And then when I talked to James and we got James's guys, oh man, they were telling me how to do things. So I'm just creating standard operating procedures and now retweaking the machine to support them and what they need to do. And it's flying. Like you can see things are going quite well with that team. They really know what they're doing.
Yeah. And is that freed your time up more so you can spend time with family and kids, etc.? Or?
Oh yeah. I mean, well, yeah. I mean, it's definitely freed up time so we can focus on the things that matter, be it high level activities, closing deals, and coming back to family. even our junior recruiters and other recruiters are relieved that they can focus on what makes money. These guys want money. They want commission. They don't want to be stuck doing arduous tasks. They want to be on the phone closing deals. And the sooner you can get them to do that, the quicker everybody benefits by far. You're just going to be closing deals much, much faster.
Exactly. That's what we say. Like when you can outsource a lot and delegate a lot of the mediocre tasks and things that aren't worth your true value per hour, and especially not just you as a CEO, but also your delivery recruiter team, then they can do more deals per month because it frees their time up to just do what they do best, which is speaking to qualified candidates on the phone, getting
Exactly.
closing deals, making money.
Yeah. And then that also, like, right now we're working on training manuals and operating procedures to take our recruiters to the next level.
Mm-hmm.
When you're dealing with recruiters, what their salary expectations are, how to really tweak the conversation to earn the trust, the rapport and respect. Maybe not this role, but something down the line for sure. And if you tie that in with your VA so that they can do the booking and the databasing and everything like that, you're knocking out phone calls pretty quickly at that point.
How do you feel now you've got we always building systems in a business and I always say like a business should be built across systems. Now you've started to piece each pillar in. Can you see the growth and the difference in your business now, Robert, to where you were maybe 2018, 2019, of like how you can actually scale this up now?
Oh, absolutely. We have a loose plan in place, but as soon as we knock out these, I say that, but right now, I call it the cookie cutter effect, right? So we have the process, we have the plan. I don't like executing things when they're 110% because there's always going to be something around the lines. But I am very confident right now. I can literally just pick up what I'm doing, ka-chunk, and have the next territory that I want and just run with it. And that is why I am, as an entrepreneur, the scalability and the flexibility of everything that's why I'm excited, because now it's one to many, as your words, right? Now the systems, procedures, everything works anywhere. You just need to get, the employees for one thing and make sure that the systems are as robust as possible to address those employees' needs. And you can just pick it up and drop it wherever you want. That makes sense, obviously. So.
Awesome. So what are your plans for the business with NextGen over the next 12 months and beyond? Where do you want to take this business to?
Oh, definitely, past millions of dollars that was kind of like a joke. And what just happened in January is like, okay, no, that's a reality. You have to start thinking like that now, because if you're not, that you're just losing money on the table, right? Right now, again, more market territory. That's a big thing. I'm doing some final touches on our current territory to really dive in and dial in the great clients that we want to work with. James goes into strong details about client acquisition and the effort it takes for that kind of thing. So that's going to be like I guess the ongoing process for this territory. And that's part of the process. Like we go in, I know I can drop it, expect, get a whole wave of work in. And now how do we focus on, in that wave, how do we focus on ideal clients and maintain that territory, and then prove the cash flow, prove the, prove the revenue that it, balances itself out and for that territory, and basically prove it. That's how I picture it. It's like, okay, I have all these revenue up and down. What is actually, I can count, this territory makes me X dollars per year. How can we get it to a point where without question, I know off the back of my hand that it's going to make me that money, even though we're in a completely risk-driven, contingency-driven business. You can get to a point where you can calculate with ease and clarity what your revenue is going to be.
Yeah, and like obviously you come from that type of background where it's systems thinking, boil it down to first principles and like build things on that way, Robert. So yeah, listen, it's awesome that you're talking around like going to millions. Like
it's happening, whether I like it or not. It's kind of out of my, we are steering the ship. It's a team here, but yeah, the company is going there. So this is the beast we've created.
Do you feel more happy as a person? Like I know when we first started to speak, which I'm sure you divulged, like you were quite stressed and you didn't really see like light at the end of the tunnel, and there was a lot of overwhelm. Like now you seem more, a little bit lighter, vibrant, even though you're busy, a lot busier now, but making more money. Like, has that changed things? Like the fact that you've got some more financial freedom now and you've got a clear roadmap and path of where the business is going?
Yeah. Despite being busier, so to speak, my hours per workday are the same. Just the value that I get out of it is many, many, many full times higher. Um, I know for me that, as an entrepreneur, I'm building this capital making machine that will help me next few years, whenever that is. I'm not even really thinking about that right now. I'm thinking about focusing right now on building that machine and making it autonomous, that it can provide the wealth that myself, my partner, my family, and my employees need to live a very happy life. And that's like the kind of the ethos that I have right now. I'm not really thinking about anything else. And like, how do we make this system work for everybody, and everybody can really, really work with that. Yeah, when I first started, like, my other businesses that I did in college and university, where I had, because I was in construction before during college, I was always in the trenches with my employees doing things. And this is like the first time. Like, I always knew I wanted to step out of the trench work and really see the company grow from an exterior level. And this is the first time where, wow, this is a reality, and it has to be a reality. This isn't even imagination anymore. It's going this way. And James, you were a profound help in that, especially with the sessions we had when you heard me piss and moan and everything like that about what was happening during COVID, and the literature as well. Like, those are great. I mean, I recommend going through all James's literature and really spending time, not just flipping through it, but really spending time and digesting it.
Yeah, in terms of like the online program and the course.
Yeah, and also the reading materials and appendages, like that stuff. Like, don't like go through everything. And still to this day, like, I still visit my account with James's system. And like, did I miss anything? Okay, how can we do this better? How can I didn't have time for that then. Now I really need to bring that in. And James, I've called you. I've physically called you at your office and and say, okay, we really need to, like, what's your thoughts on this? How could we? When you experimented with this, what went wrong, what went well? And James will give you the honest truth, and he'll tell you, I think you need to cater it this way for your systems. And that's what no one else provides out there.
Awesome. So, like, final question then, Robert. So if someone's listening here and on the fence about joining the program or investing in themselves, like, what would you say to them?
Well, if you're serious, and it sounds like if they gotten this far on the webcam and they're serious, yeah, get into the program. You're gonna, like, I mean, yeah, the return on investment is very, very high. And yeah, wear your little helmet, strap your seatbelt in. It's a ride. It's a good ride. So
awesome. Well, listen, thank you so much for sharing your story, Robert. It's been a pleasure working with you over these few weeks and months, and awesome to see that you've managed to build the systems out in your business to give you obviously you've already on to 7 figures a year in your agency. And it seems like you're on your way to making many more millions in the future with taking over the rest of the market. So congratulations, and thank you very much for your time.
All right. Cheers, James.